Welcome to the Tea Mind. I'm Erica, and this is your weekly pause to put the kettle on, slow down, and reconnect with what really matters. When I left my job as a lawyer to start my tea business, Etiquette, I needed to be much more focused and more productive than ever before. And it wasn't the coffee that was going to get me there, it was tea. And not just tea, but it was the rituals and the little tea routines that I paired it with that really helped. So, whether it was taking time to do some breathing exercises or just using that space for stillness and a space to check in. And it really helped to give me better energy. So we've been taught to believe that productivity comes in a cup, usually a big, heavily caffeinated one. More coffee, more progress, which this is following on from last week's episode, which was about hojicha and how you can use the lower caffeinated teas like that to help you gain more calm and therefore more productivity. So if you are a coffee lover and maybe you felt jittery but unfocused and constantly exhausted but really have trouble sleeping or just feel generally a little bit off after your third espresso, then you are not alone. For myself, if I have too much coffee, it often feels like I've just been slapped in the face and my mind gets really scattered all over the place. My hands actually shake and my eyes start to twitch, even after on my second coffee, that happens without fail. And I really can't think as clearly and as calmly as I need to. And this isn't about demonizing coffee. There's lots of great things about coffee, and some people can drink coffee at 11 o'clock at night and be absolutely fine. But if you are not one of those people, then listen in. This isn't about noticing, it's more about noticing what's no longer actually serving you and about tuning in when your body's asking for rest and you're feeding it more and more stimulation in whatever form that is. Then you're actually borrowing energy from tomorrow. And some studies have shown that caffeine can disrupt sleep even when it's taken quite early on. The half-life of coffee is longer than you think. I'll link to some studies in the show notes. It can also apparently help to increase anxiety in sensitive people, and it can create a cycle of craving. So you get that spike, then a crash, and then repeat again. So I'll link to some more evidence and publications in the show notes. For myself, I used to feel pressure to go, and just be busy all the time. But I've tried really hard to flip that switch over the past couple of years. And on reflecting back, I've realised that the more I slow down, the better I work. When I started etiquette, I needed to be really clear and present and productive. So I switched to tea and it felt a lot kinder to me. It was like it knew what I needed. And some days it grounded me, other days it helped to lift me up. And it worked with me rather than against me, unlike coffee, which often clashed with how I felt. And this is where the tea mind system comes in. It's not just about sipping tea, but it's about pairing it with these micro moments of presence. So every tea routine becomes a check in and a little invitation to come back to yourself, so whether it's breathing or journaling or just noticing how you feel. So tea really does work differently on you. It contains something called L-theanine, which is an amino acid that has been reported by some studies to work with caffeine to do things like improve your focus and attention, reduce your mental fatigue, and boost your alpha brainwaves, which is that calm meditative state. And I'll link to some of the studies in the show notes. And the result of that is that you can feel awake but calm and focused but not frantic at the same time. And that is why I absolutely love tea so much. And matcha was one of the first teas that helped shift things for me. And it still has a caffeine hit, but it also relaxes you at the same time. But if matcha feels like too much, then hojicha that we discussed last week is the perfect bridge. This is a great tea for just having a gentle focus. It's a roasted green tea, low in caffeine, a lovely earthy, grounded flavour, and it's perfect for those mid-afternoon slumps. Great when you pair it with a breathing exercise like box breathing. Also, rooibos is a really good one for just resetting your calm. It's a herb from South Africa, naturally caffeine free, apparently great for digestion, sleep, and calm. And a really good tea routine to do with it is some gratitude writing. Just while it's steeping, think what went right today, even if it's a tiny little thing. And then that takes me on to matcha, the secret weapon. It's high in caffeine, but it's tempered by the L-theanine, which gives it that smooth but sustained energy release. So it's great for mid-morning focused bursts. And a tea routine while you're drinking matcha might be something like mentally rehearsing something. So creating a picture in your mind of a task completed, something that you've done in your mind's eye. So if you've got a big thing that you really want to achieve that day, just sit with it for 3 minutes while you're having your matcha and really make it as lifelike as possible using all your senses. And that can really help to reprogram your subconscious, and it's more likely that you will achieve what you set out to achieve. So here's your 3 minute reset for calm clarity that I invite you to do this week. First of all is to boil the kettle or heat your water mindfully and using that sound just to gently come into your body. And then let your tea steep with your breath. Try either box breathing or breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, breathe out for 8, whatever is comfortable for you while your tea leaves infuse. And then drink your tea with intention. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? And what do I need to know right now? So, one of the most unexpected benefits I got from learning to slow down, which was a huge challenge at first, but I've realized on looking back that one of the big benefits was having more contentment and also noticing more moments that mattered instead of them just flashing by and me not really being present for them. I had more awareness to really be present for those special moments. Coffee's reputation has improved a lot because there's lots of evidence that it no longer supports old fears like things that coffee was bad for, and it's now linked to positive things like protective health effects. Plus, decaf has become a lot more palatable. I'd also just put a note in about matcha lattes and also hojicha lattes, any kind of lattes. Wherever you go for them, just make sure that they've not added too much sugar into it because that might outweigh any health benefits. So yeah, just be wary of that. If you get a really good quality base tea, whether it's matcha, hojicha, or whatever, then it should be naturally sweet. It shouldn't really be bitter, and you should be able to enjoy it without adding too much honey or sweetener to it. So the takeaway from this then is that you don't need more coffee to do more. You actually need more presence to do what matters. So just let that sink in. More presence to do what matters. So I used to be running around like a headless chicken to get things done. Don't get me wrong, I still am, but not as bad as I used to. But now I know that my energy works better when I pause, check in, and just reset and rebalance with tea. So, my invitation for you this week is to take one tea break today, just 3 minutes, without your phone, just yourself, and just notice what's rising, where's the tension, maybe in your body or your mind, and ask yourself what's one thing that your body is asking for. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. That's it for today. I hope something landed. I hope something lifted. And if it did, share it with someone who needs a pause too. If you enjoyed this, you'll love the Tea Mind Substack, where the kettle's always on and we can connect more deeply. Until next time, stay present, sip slowly, and thanks for listening.